Welcome to this video showing you how to rotate shapes. The tools we need for this are a nice sharp pencil and a piece of tracing paper, ruler and a protractor, and it helps if the ruler and the protractor are completely transparent to do this well. I first want to show you how to do the rotation with the tracing paper, and then I'll show you what you'd do if you didn't have any tracing paper. So here we have our figure here, ABC. It's going to be rotated 90 degrees clockwise, so it's in that direction, about this point. So showing you how the procedure works with tracing paper, it's quite straightforward. You put the tracing paper over the figure, making sure that you can see it, and then with a pencil you mark out the position of the centre. It's useful to mark the position of the axes, and that will become apparent later, and you need to put the Y and the X on, and then you trace over the figure. Again, marking the letters for the vertices. Now, the point of a rotation is that it is a twisting about the axis of rotation, which in this case is sticking out of the page, about this centre. And the idea is that the centre doesn't move. So if we want to do a 90-degree rotation, it's convenient here that the Y and the X axes are 90 degrees apart. So once we've rotated it 90 degrees, the Y axis will be in the place where X is now, and the X-axis will be pointing along the minus Y direction. So if we put our pencil where the X is, where the centre is, we just need to spin this until we see the Y points along the X direction, and then we know we're in the right place. So we can then push pretty firmly where our letters are, we can gradually take the tracing paper up and have a look, and then we would be able to see that A will be on this point here and so forth, and then we'll get to draw our shape out. Now, what happens if you don't have any tracing paper? So let me just rotate this back round and just show you something important. If we draw a line now between the centre of rotation and one of the points on the shape, we see that by the time, I'll tell you what, I'll put the line on the paper so you'll be able to see this. We put the centre back, spin through 90 degrees so that the Y lands on there. You should be able to see that there is a right angle here between where the line once was and where the line now is. And that's going to be really helpful to us to do it when we don't have any tracing paper. So what we want to do is draw a line from the centre to each of the points on the object. Then we're going to draw a 90-degree angle, and then another line of exactly the same length, so these lines haven't changed length. And then we'll know exactly where we need to be on our image. So let me show you how to do that. So here is our line. We want a 90-degree angle, so we take our protractor and we put it on top of the centre, pointing along the line between the centre and B. And then we're going to want a 90-degree line, 90-degree angle. We then need to measure how far along this went, and we find that that is, in this case, about 1.8 centimetres. So we need to draw a line along here, 1.8 centimetres long. And it's useful just to realise that as it's a 90-degree rotation, the point will end up being on a grid square, so the clearest one we have there is here. And that is where our point B on the image will be. We give it the prime to show that it's part of the image. And this angle here is 90 degrees. So if we carry this on with the other points, C, again we want a 90-degree angle. It's going to be in this direction here. The point is 2 centimetres from the centre. Again, we want it to be on one of the vertices of the grid. So our point C is going to be here, and we can see a right angle exists there. So that's going to be C prime. And A is a little bit harder because it's just that bit further away, so it's a bit more fiddly. But again, we can employ the same procedure. This time we take the projector facing in this direction. Line up our 0. There we want 90 degrees. And there. The distance between the centre and A is 3.4 centimetres. So A is to be here. Again, we can see there's a right angle between this line there and that line there, and that's where A prime is going to be. Join up the points on the image, and we'll just check with the tracing paper that we've done it right. Start off lining everything up again. Put our pencil in our image, and there, when we get around 90 degrees, we find here with the shape B, and that's exactly where we drew the image here. And that's how to draw rotated objects with and without tracing paper. Hope you enjoyed the video.